response to backlash over Trump collaborations. The weird thing I don't understand is like, why the fuck did the Joe Biden campaign allow for dishonest Republicans to take advantage of Ice Cube and to make it seem like they actually give a fuck about black people? Like, it's once again, people getting mad at Ice Cube. Get mad at Ice Cube for, one, get mad at Ice Cube for like anti-Semitism or like, you know, dumb shit that he says about like fucking black Israelites or whatever. That's one thing, okay? Hotep takes, not good. But if you're gonna get mad at him for like literally sending his ideas to both the Democratic Party and both the Republican Party, and the Republican Party being like, fuck yeah, we'll use this as an example in a way to like make the fucking Democrats look bad. Versus the Democrats being like, yeah, fuck off, get the fuck out of here. Then yeah, no shit, he's gonna go and fucking talk to Donald Trump. I don't understand how you guys are scolding him instead of not getting mad at fucking the Joe Biden camp for once again losing an opportunity to the fucking right. Like, this is unironically stemming from the place of complacency with the black voting bloc, okay? I'm sorry, but Democrats expect the left to vote for them no matter what in unison. They expect black people to vote for them no matter what in unison. And like anyone that gets out of that with honest intentions, or sometimes with dishonest intentions, certainly, but usually with honest intentions, anyone that like says, hey, can I get like more? Can I get more out of this coalition? Because it seems like you're just kind of taking me for granted. They're like, shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down. And what they don't recognize is that leads to apathy. It does. You can't exclusively rely on how fucking horrible the Republicans are. You can't exclusively rely on how fucking horrible the Republicans are to make sure that you have a solid base of support amongst the left and a solid base of support with black voters.
Months with Chad.
Like, this is a total opening. This is a total opening for Republicans to exploit. And for some weird reason, weird reason, like Democrats and liberal media too, absolutely allow this opening to be exploited by like people who are otherwise very clearly racist and unironically use racial agitation as a primary plank in their campaign strategy. And I mean Republicans when I say this.
Is Ice Cube. If you know anything about him, and you probably do, you know he started his career rapping in defiance about police presence and the realities of inner city life. And he got political with his songs as well recently during the Trump administration, most recently in 2018. Here's a taste.
For the better, I can't thank you enough.
Arrest the president. You got the evidence. That is fresh and intelligent.
Now,
it's so funny. He was like libbed up as fuck, and now he's like doing black Israelite takes on the timeline. I'm so confused.
we see a shift.
Fucking boomers, dude. Listen, just because you're fucking black doesn't change the reality that you're still a fucking boomer, okay? This is something that people need to understand. And same goes for Kanye. Black people are subject to the same exact external pressures as white people are. Okay? That's it. When you're a fucking boomer and when you're out of touch, like you can totally get brainwashed by Facebook shit just as easily as white people do, just as easily as any other group does.
Now he wants to work with President Trump. Here's what the president had to say most recently about Black Lives Matter.
Bruh, white people be like
you? Black Lives Matter. I said, that's such a terrible term because it's such a racist term. It's a term that sows division between blacks and whites and everybody else. And it's a very bad term for blacks. But they were very angry. It's a Marxist organization.
With all that going on and how the president continues to speak about there being no systemic inequality, it's no shock that Ice Cube got some heat for deciding to work with the Trump administration. He wants to deal with it.
Okay, that's not how it happened, though. Like, I haven't even been paying that much attention to what the fuck Ice Cube is doing because who gives a shit ultimately? But like, even I know that, didn't he very clearly send his proposal to the Republicans and the Democrats? And the Democrats were like, yeah, fuck you. And the Republicans were like, of course we're going to use this against the Democrats. Are you kidding me? Please come through, sir. Yeah, thank you, Ice Cube, for, you know, allowing us to have an opportunity to make us seem like we give a fuck about the black community after literally saying fuck black people as a part of our, you know, main campaigning efforts. It's wild that, like, this is on Ice Cube and not on Democrats, like, playing themselves once again.
This is a deranged.
Why don't you treat black community leaders with respect? Whether you like to admit it or not, Ice Cube is a commodity at this point. Certainly, he's a fucking brand, but still is a known figurehead and deserves more respect and should have been taken seriously. Kind of on Ice Cube though, too though. Why the fuck would he work with Republicans? Dude, you're doing it again. You're doing this over and over again. Hello, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Ice Cube doesn't owe you shit. Ice Cube doesn't owe me shit. He doesn't owe the Democratic Party anything. Okay? No one owes the Democratic Party anything. These are elected representatives. What is this fucking perspective, dude? Like, he's literally participating in electoralism in a more hands-on way than most people do. And you're like, oh, dude, why would he do this?
I want to understand it, so should you. So here is Ice Cube on Prime Time. Thank you for taking...
Treat mentally deranged celebrities with respect just because they're black? First of all, like, Ice Cube's mental derangement is, like, similar to most fucking celebrities in general, okay? Like, what are you talking about? Ice Cube's mental derangement. Ultimately, what he did was offer proposals to both fucking parties. It's not like this is a random guy yelling from the street corner. It's like saying Killer Mike is mentally deranged or some shit. Like, he is making a good, from what I can see, while he is also losing it a little bit on the Black Israelite shit, obviously. I've already admitted that part. But, like, this is not one of those instances where he's being insane. See Mario Judah, Dad?
Taking the opportunity, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
How so?
Well, the Platinum Plan is not my plan. I came up with the Contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the Contract with Black America. One campaign said, we love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election. And one campaign said, we love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it? And that's what I did. So I didn't run to nobody. And so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
Well, but you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the Contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm going to speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
Well, here's the problem, and it is very personal, as you know, for a lot of people of color, because they'll say, well, why would you pick Trump when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality? Say again?
I'm not picking nobody. He's the president.
But why do you think he'd want to do something for the community when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
I don't know what he want to do. I just know what the man said. I know what he said to the country. I've never met Donald Trump.
Okay, dude. Okay, dude. Look, don't fucking deflect away from that. Oh, that's insane. That's fucking insane. Okay, there is a point to the fucking. There is a point where I'm like, all right, listen. I think this is a problem on the Democratic leadership, that they allow someone like Ice Cube, who is like well-intentioned, ultimately for Black Americans in his own way, to like get co-opted by the right. Okay. But like, if you're going to turn around and be like, oh, I don't know the president, like, get the fuck out of here, dude. What are you, crazy? You don't know the president? Then why the fuck did you rap about how he's a Russian operative or some other lib shit early on in your career, far fucking years ago?
In this house. There's some whores in this house.
It's like saying, oh, well, I don't know the police because I didn't sit down with them individually and personally when I wrote the Fuck the Police song.
So I don't know what he's going to do. I just know what he said he was going to do. So both of them have a plan. Both of them say they're going to do something. And who knows what's really going to happen after November 3rd. Nobody knows from each side. We're all hoping that candidates keep their campaign promises. So that's just it.
So let's look at it this way. I think that you're right to be skeptical. Let's start with the Democrats, because even though there is a traditional connection between Black voters and the Democrats, you could also say you've been let down or forgotten by Democrats in a lot of situations that would have mattered. Then you say, all right, so then what makes one side better than the other? That's where you get in trouble, which is, do you really think that Donald Trump can be trusted as much as you could trust Joe Biden?
I don't think I'm not trusting any of them. I'm just going by action. That's all I'm going by. I'm not going by.
This is really dangerous. Okay? Because he's fucking right. When you, and this is literally what I've talked about as a fucking Yakubian, not even like American white passing dude. Even I understand this, where Black people are like, listen, we know that both sides are pretty fucking bad. We're just making the more rational choice of like going with the relatively less racist side. Okay? Well, even if I can understand that with my lack of melanin, then I think the Democratic Party should understand that as well. Okay? Because there are a lot of young Black people that feel this way for understandable reasons. Okay? You are creating apathy amongst young African Americans. That's what you're doing when you take their votes for granted. And there are studies. You have become a despicable lib, says bada bing, bada boom. For what reason? I'm saying that the Democratic Party is taking Black people for granted. How is that if I was a liberal, I'd be like, Ice Cube, sweaty, you're not Black anymore, okay? That's what I would say if I was a lib in this circumstance. What I'm saying is correct.
Wet ass P word. Make that pullout game weak.
The Kardashians are lying to you.
Why 20 days before the election? I don't know. First of all, this is not going to be super impactful regardless, okay? We're making a mountain out of a molehill. That's one. Two, the larger problem here is that this is indicative of a movement that's backed by empirical data, that younger Black people do not have the same kind of party loyalty or demonstrate the same kind of party loyalty that older Black people do. Okay? So what this is doing at the very least is like it's a signal that there is more voter apathy and less party loyalty among young African Americans. And if the Democratic Party does not change its strategy and focus on, check Discord is serious. You're not even writing anything. Freak me out, dude. What's up? Oh my God, Poke. Fuck you. Folks that check Discord serious. I went to Discord. You know what he wrote? He said, do you know where Mario Judah? I can't get it out of my fucking head. I hate it. It's brain cancer. It's so catchy. I don't know how. When I first listened to the song, I thought is so shit. I thought it was weird. And now it's just stuck in my head and I can't get it out. Anyway, let's keep going.
By words, not going by rhetoric, not going by media spin, not going by none of that. You know, I'm not on nobody's team. I'm not on
Young black people are never voting Republican, trust me. First of all, that doesn't matter. What you're failing to recognize is young black people aren't voting Republican, okay? But they're not voting. And if they don't fucking vote, then it doesn't matter because then you're allowing the Republican Party to continue winning elections. Hello? Do you understand? That's the problem. Blexit, and I've talked about this so much. I've been covering this for years now. The Republican Party has been making a very deliberate effort in increasing voter apathy among African Americans. Not in an effort to get them to vote for them, because that's going to be pretty difficult, but in an effort to get them to just not vote. Okay? And the Democratic Party, unironically, is playing the same game where they're just like, yeah, we don't really care. You're going to vote for us anyway, Jack. And that's a problem.
Team blue, not on team red.
So then I have that wrong.
Hold on, I'm an independent person, and I believe that's what black people need to do is become independent, and we need to get something for our vote. You know, that may not happen, but it's gonna happen.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Look, if I had brought you here to fight with you, you would have known it. What I'm saying is, I think I did get it wrong, and I want to make sure I get it right. So saying you're working with the Trump team is wrong. What you did was, when they asked to talk to you about it, you said yes. If Biden had asked to talk to you about it now, you would have gone to them the same way. It's not about you choosing anything. It's you working with everybody who's got a chance of doing anything.
I'm working with whoever's in power. Yeah, I'll work with both. Whoever's in power, I'm going to work with. So whoever wins, they'll hear from me.
Okay, so
you know,
I'm glad you came to clear it up. So Ice Cube is not with the Trump campaign. He's just giving his ideas, and anybody who wants to do something with him, fine.
This is key too, of course. It's also important to remember that black people aren't idiots. The Republican Party may do this as a publicity stunt, but black communities mainly care about the parties working with black intellectuals and community organizers. We aren't taken away by celebrities that work with Republicans. Absolutely. No. Freaking out over this is exclusively white people shit. I'm not talking about like Ice Cube working with the Republicans and that's why he's a race traitor or whatever the fuck. Or like how many black people are now going to go work with the Republicans. What I'm stating is a much, much larger problem within the Democratic Party. Okay? Pervert. It is indicative of the Democratic Party's mentality on like how they treat black voters, black community leaders, and how they treat black people in general, and how they don't personally fucking target black interests beyond being like your community leaders are vouching for us. And therefore, you should vote with the Democratic Party. This is a deranged. There is still, of course, some help that comes to black communities from Democratic administrations, but you're losing out on younger black voters. You absolutely are. I think that's the much larger problem here. But it's like, but like thinking that like Ice Cube is going to put a dent in like the black voter base because he worked with the Republicans and now black people are going to go and vote Republican is the same energy as thinking that Kanye West was going to, take black voters away from the Democratic Party. Like I said it back then. That's fucking lib shit. It's dog shit. And it's unironically racist to think that like black people are going to be like, oh, Kanye West, well, that's a black guy. I'm going to go vote for him. And it's also ahistorical because black voters literally didn't even want to fucking vote for Obama before Obama won Iowa. So the fuck are you talking about? Like, what does this take? Bro, Ice Cube isn't relevant to young black kids, though. Oh, okay.
Fine. Do you believe they are doing anything with your ideas?
I believe, they looked at the contract with Black America and they updated their plan. But it's their plan. I have my plan. My plan is broad. It goes beyond the public sector. It goes into the private sector, banks, even the movie industry. So we got to deal with a lot of different, companies, corporations, and even government when it comes to solving this problem.
I think it's dumb to think that black cultural influencers don't have an impact on the black vote. Really? You think motherfucking Kanye West had an impact on the black vote then? So what happened? Why didn't it work? Kanye's a black cultural leader. That is the most Yakubian take. Okay? Because Kanye's an idiot.
This is a deranged pervert.
The same force that get Kanye and Ice Cube to feel apathy make other young black people feel apathy as well. It has some effect? No, it fucking no. It is so marginal and so inconsequential, okay? That's it. It's inconsequential. You're being crazy.
I believe it's a
like the people who are saying people actually voted for him. Look at Twitter. No, they didn't. That was literally incorrect. That was Kanye West. Kanye West thinking that he won fucking Kentucky because of one of those local news broadcasts doing a test run with election results. Leftists did this with like Bernie and I think it was like one of the primaries. Like local news broadcasts run fake results to see what the graphics look like all the time.
Bipartisan problem. I believe it's a bipartisan problem when it comes to the issues, when it comes to blacks in America and what's going on. It's not a Democrat problem. It's not for them to solve. It's not for the Republicans to solve. It's for both of them to solve. They do it when it comes to debt ceiling. What? They do it when it comes to getting us in wars. They seem to come together when it's something that really affects America. And I don't think nothing affects America more than the situation that black Americans find ourselves in. This country is coming apart at the seams, and it's not going to come together after January 3rd, no matter who's the president, unless we deal with this wealth gap.
You have the economics. All of it extends from poverty, which is an extension of opportunity, which is an extension of a system that doesn't give equal opportunity, and you see it everywhere. Hiring, education, finance, all of it. So acutely, we've been looking at what happens when policing goes wrong in communities. It doesn't give you concern that the president has handled police violence the way he has in terms of his commitment to work on any of the issues that you think are important?
We've been dealing with police violence in this country from day one. So police violence is just part of our life here. So, you know, the thing is this, once we get some capital, we'll be treated better. This is a capitalistic society.
True.
And if you ain't got no money, you see how people get treated on the streets when they ain't got no money.
Not just money, wealth.
Wealth.
You got to be able to build up wealth within the community.
Yeah, you know, to put it in greater terms. But, you know, at the bottom line is, you know, dollars bring dignity. And so everybody in America knows that. When you got a little more money, they treat you a little better. So we need to close this wealth gap. You know, you got people, you know, families making $120,000 or worth $120,000, and you got black families worth $200. It's just an enormous wealth gap that keeps growing. It's not getting smaller. Do the research, and you'll see this is the problem in America. It's because black people have no capital. We own half of a point when it comes to all the wealth in America. Half of a point. 13.5% people living off half of a point. We cannot survive in America another 100 years living like this.
The issue is real. The problem is properly identified. They do have access to capital of about $500 billion, but it doesn't say that it would be earmarked within the Trump plan for communities of color. But we'll see what you can get done, and I make you this promise, not just because I'm a fan, but the issue matters. As you learn and as you see action and reaction or inaction, you have a place on this show to discuss it. That's a guarantee.
I appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I'll be back to discuss and let you know what I know, what I find out. But I'm gonna give it to you straight up.
It's the only way I take it.
Side.
It doesn't go well any other way on this show. Ice Cube, I wish you the best. Stay healthy. Be well.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. We'll be right back.
Noam Chomsky, if you don't push the lever for Democrats, you are assisting Trump. Wealth didn't keep Kaepernick. At this stage, 20 days out of the election, with Democrats refusing to fucking concede, I'm not going to fucking sit here and vote shame. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. But especially if you live in a swing state and you're not voting for Joe Biden, bet your fucking ass Republicans don't have that same kind of apathy for Donald Trump.
Hassan.
And if you care about leftist coalition building, or if you care about leftist movements, if we inevitably do end up gaining any sort of power, it's better to have less hurdles in front of ourselves with 4 more years of Donald Trump than it is with 4 years of neoliberal, marginal, incrementalist policies from Joe Biden.
Isn't that just darling?
But there is nothing more annoying to me than, and by the way, Chomsky would agree with my take on this as well. There's nothing more annoying to me than people who make it seem like voting is the end all be all. And most people, unfortunately, especially on the liberal side, one, think that the Democratic Party owes, like you owe the Democratic Party something, when that's not the case. It's the opposite. And secondly, voting is not the end all be all. Oh, I have not seen the docuseries on Cuba. Also, you should fucking vote regardless. Like, even if you're not gonna fucking vote for the president, you should absolutely vote. It is the most idiotic thing not to fucking vote. You do hold power, especially in down ballot races. Like, you hold a tremendous amount of power. A take that I've never said don't vote. It's very difficult, but it's still fucking worth it to absolutely go and vote, for ballot measures, and for council members. Like, it's hugely, supremely fucking important. So I don't know why, like, I mean, there aren't,
you're such a big
outside of
man,
like
Hasan.
really fucking marginal, like, hammer and sickle babies on Twitter, there is really no one. Anarchists won't tell you not to participate in electoralism. Like, everyone fucking thinks that you should absolutely vote.